Hey guys, it's Katie. Welcome back to my channel. I am so glad that you're here. Today we are going to be doing the mid-year book tag, which is actually insane that we are already in June, let alone like weeks away to officially being halfway through the year. But I thought it'd be fun to answer a few questions, talk about my favorite books of the year so far, and hopefully give you guys a few book recommendations along the way. All the questions will be down in the description below if you want to do this tag as well. I'm tagging all of you guys watching this, and the questions are from the tag that I've seen people do in years past, and I also added a few of my own at the very end. So if you end up doing the mid-year book tag, especially whenever you use my questions, go ahead and at me, whether you do it on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. Make sure to tag me so I can see all of your answers to the questions, so we can chat about all of our answers and books some more. And if you don't have a channel that you want to post things on, again, the questions will be in the description below. You can just copy paste them in the comments and we can talk about them down there as well. Also, normally whenever I do these book tag videos, I try my best not to repeat books, but this time I'm just gonna have to repeat books. It just kind of, it is what it is, because there were just some books that fit these categories so perfectly and I couldn't leave them out. And there's probably gonna be, not probably, there will be more than one book for each question. So grab yourself a snack, a beverage of some sort, maybe a meal, maybe you're sitting down for lunch, breakfast, dinner, I don't know. But just be prepared, because I feel like I'm gonna be here yapping for quite some time. Before we get into all the questions, we are gonna look at my reading goal and just kind of check in, see how I'm doing, and see, you know, if we're on track or not so far for the year. By the way, if you're not already following me on Goodreads, you definitely should. That's where I update you guys on all the books that I'm reading in real time, and that's where all of my reviews are for all of my books. I mean, obviously, I give my in-depth reviews here on my YouTube channel, but all of like my star ratings and stuff like that are on there. So if you're ever wondering about like books I'd recommend, all that kind of stuff, or just more about like the books I've read, check me out on there. This year my reading goal was 100 books. I was kind of nervous at making 100 books. I didn't know if I could do it, just because 100 books is a lot of books, you know, like that's at least I think like 8-ish books a month. And that's to say too, if I don't have a reading slump or if I'm not super busy one month, which my wedding's coming up, so I will be very busy here coming up soon. As of right now though, so far this year, according to Goodreads, I have read 51 books so far this year, and it says I'm 7 books ahead of my schedule, which honestly does make me feel pretty good, especially considering these next few months are about to be super crazy busy for me. Also, speaking of, if there's like any specific like wedding content or just like content in general that is not a reading vlog that you guys want to see coming up while I'm a little bit busier, because I still want to put out the same amount of videos, but I might just have to like switch my videos up a little bit. There still will be reading vlogs and reading content and stuff like that. It's just I want to make sure that I'm still posting enough content overall for you guys to enjoy. So let me know if you guys have any ideas down below. But yeah, I don't know, I'm feeling good about my reading goal and I'm really hoping I can make it to 100. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the questions. The first one being, is the best book you've read so far in 2024? I have two, technically like 3-ish answers for this one, and I'll be completely honest, I have read almost the entire Throne of Glass series throughout the beginning of this year, so you're probably gonna hear a lot of mention about these guys right here, just because I love them so much. And I know that honestly I don't know if characters will ever make me feel the way that these characters do right here. My absolute favorites and ones that I would consider the best book that I've read so far this year though are Queen of Shadows and Empire of Storms. These are books 5 and 6, at least in the order that I read them, because depending on when you read the prequel Assassin's Blade depends on what order everything is for you. These are both very well loved, very well annotated, and I can't stop thinking about the characters, especially the end of Empire of Storms. If you know, you know. If you've read it, it is absolutely insane, and I'm just so nervous for the wreck that Kingdom of Ash is going to make me. I haven't read that one yet, so that's not going to be really included in this video, but I'm sure it would be in the best books of 2024 so far if I had, because wow, these are good. I also really did enjoy Heir of Fire, which is the 4th book that I read in the series, but it was a little bit slow at the beginning and it was just kind of like a lot less going on. I think I rated it like a 4.75, but those two guys are definitely 5 stars for me. And then switching gears a little bit, we talked about a fantasy, now we're going to talk about a romance. The other book that immediately comes to mind when I think of one of the best books of 2024 so far is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I love this book so much. This is not just some fun and silly summer romance. This is everything to me. These characters, Emma and Justin, are just so meant for each other. He is the king of acts of service. And literally, if you are in like a relationship right now where you feel like you're not getting enough attention, you feel like your partner's not doing enough for you, if you read this book, you're gonna be feeling that a lot more, babes, because him, Justin, if he wanted to, he would. And Justin did. Let me just leave it there because I'm probably going to talk about this book a little bit more in this video. The next question is the best sequel I've read so far in 2024. Now, obviously, these guys up here. But this one was a little bit tough for me because most of the books and the sequels that I've read have been a part of this series so far, and I've read a lot of other standalones so far this year, I'm kind of realizing, or I've read like the first book in the series and I haven't continued it on just because I've been overwhelmed with this series right here. But I did end up finishing a YA murder mystery series, and that is none other than A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. This is the second one, Good Girl Bad Blood. These are by Holly Jackson. I really enjoyed this series. I am a scaredy cat, as you will know if you are a frequent watcher of my channel, and these were the perfect mixture of like thrilling and mystery and me wanting to know next, and me getting out my little microscope and trying to solve the entire thing with Pippa, who is our main character. I just found these so interesting. This one specifically is the second one, and I ate this one up. I read it in like 2 days, I think, and I just could not stop thinking about this book. It was so good. I feel like the third one is like a lot darker and more real, which kind of freaked me out a little bit. Still not even sure on my rating on that one, but the first one was also really good. But I don't know, I feel like because I felt more connected to the characters and just the whole story in general in this one, I just really love this book and just ate it up. The second one is actually a part of an interconnected standalone series. It goes with When in Rome by Sarah Adams, and it's called Practice Makes Perfect. I don't have the physical copy because I actually listened to it on audiobook, but not that I didn't enjoy the first one. I think going back and like thinking about it, I read it like last year when I wasn't as big of a reader, so I was like, oh my gosh, like that's whenever you rate everything like 5 stars and then like you look back and you're like, was it though? You know, was it though? I don't think I did rate this one 5 stars. I think I rated it like a 4.5. But now looking back on it, that one's a 3.5. I did enjoy it, but this one was so cute. It's about Annie and Will, and he's like a bodyguard. He's just like in town because of a wedding and stuff, like plot going on in the first book. But he basically fake dates Annie, who is like this goody girl, and people just think the world of her. And you would never think these two would mix, but they do, and it works so well. And I thought it was so cute. I rated it a 4.5. They were just so cute. New releases you haven't read yet but want to. Actually, today, I believe, yeah, today's Tuesday, June 11th, whenever I am filming this. Obviously, it'll be out later, but Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood comes out today. I don't know if I'm gonna go get it today, but I'm a girly who, whenever Miss Ali Hazelwood comes out with a book, I'd be reading it immediately. I love her books so much, so I'm really excited for that one. Other than that, a lot of the books that have already come out so far this year, I've already read. 2 of the ones off the top of my head, though, that I really want to read are Annabelle Monaghan's new book, Summer Romance. I haven't read anything by her, but I've heard great things from people here on YouTube. And then also Wild Love by Elsie Silver, which I will get to eventually, but I'm still reading the Chestnut Spring series. The next question is my most anticipated releases for the second half of the year, and oh my gosh, there are so many good books coming out. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot more announced too later after I'm done like filming this video, maybe like in the next few months or even the next few days. Hopefully we're gonna be getting a lot of new exciting news about new releases. Number one, I would have to say, is Reckless by Lauren Roberts. And if you've never heard me talk about Powerless, if this is your first video here, hi, you will probably hear about it in every single video, just warning you. I love this book so much. I actually have it right here next to me. This world that Lauren Roberts has built, I am just so absolutely obsessed with. Peyton and Kai, their tension, the chemistry, just the everything, the simplicity of the writing, making it not too complicated to understand, but also like complex in a different way. Like I just thought this book was so good and so interesting, and this is a 5 stars for me. I just absolutely love it, so I'm so excited to see what she comes out with next. That one comes out on July 2nd, and catch me going to Barnes the day of, picking up the book, going to the Barnes & Noble little cafe area, and I will be sat until I am told to leave the cafe area, okay? Then we have the sequel to Better Than the Movies, which is also another 5-star read for me that I love so much. It's coming out in October, actually. I'm gonna be a little bit busy around that time because I just have some life things going on, but I am so excited to read this, but also really nervous because why does Better Than the Movies need a sequel whenever the first one was so perfect? So I don't know. Sequels for stuff like that get me so nervous. This is not already like a series. Then we have A Novel Love Story, which actually comes out at the end of this month. It's by Ashley Poston. I love her writing so much. I've read one of her books, and I'm trying to read the 7-Year Slip before the 3rd one comes out. I was just putting it off because I thought I was gonna read it with my book club, but then we didn't end up doing that. So I really want to read it soon, but I just love her writing, and I am so excited for her new book. And also the cover is just so stunning. And then also Heartstopper 6. I don't know when it's coming out, but I am manifesting that it is coming out this year because I actually started reading volume 5 the other day, and I was trying to spread them out and be really good about it, but I just can't. I can't do it anymore because I am impatient. So if I could get like a little release date or something, Alice Osman on volume 6, that'd be great. Thank you very much. Speaking of Heartstopper, the next question is the biggest surprise. I'm taking this as like a book that I really wasn't expecting to enjoy, but I really did, and Heartstopper this guy right here. I should say these guys right here, Nick and Charlie, because they literally melt my heart and they're just so cute and precious and I love them so much. And these are actually graphic novels, and if you've never really read a graphic novel and you don't know if you'd be into it, I recommend just giving it a shot. Whether you grab it from the library or try to read the ebook or something like that, I recommend just giving it a chance before you even judge it, because I kind of thought the same thing. I read like graphic novels as a kid. I don't know if you guys remember Baby Mouse or Bone or anything like that. I loved those so much, but again, I was like, I'm an adult now, I don't think I like this. Secrets out, I love it. Okay, as we get later into the series, they do become 5 stars for me. I have trouble like rating these though, because obviously they're graphic novels, so it's like a different rating scale, and I've experienced this too with other genres. Like if I haven't read enough of that genre, I find it hard to rate the books. I don't really know like what to compare it to. Also, it is pajama day around here, so don't mind that. But those books are just so incredibly good. You have to read them if you haven't. A fantasy that was a pretty big surprise for me was One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. Now, the reason why I didn't think I was going to enjoy this is because a lot of people said that it was very dark and gothic, and I've already talked about it, but I'm a scaredy cat, so I was kind of like, okay, I'm not gonna enjoy that one. But then I picked it up and I really enjoyed it. I have a feeling that the second one might be a 5-star read for me because of how much I enjoyed the first one. This is a 4.5. It was like a little bit slower, but also you're learning a new magic system, you're learning a whole new world, so that's pretty typical for a lot of fantasy books. But oh my gosh, was the magic system in this so original and unique, and I just thought it was so interesting, and I'm very excited to see where the second book goes. Then we have Just My Type by Fallon Ballard. I wasn't expecting to enjoy this because I hadn't really ever heard about Fallon Ballard, and I kind of do this thing where if I haven't heard about a book, I'm just like, that's not good, which is so untrue. And I honestly kind of want to do a video where I go to Barnes or wherever and I pick out books that I've never heard anything about and judge them solely based off of what I think of them, not what like people say on the internet. But guys, I ate this book up. Like this book was so close to being a 5-star. It's a 4.5. And this couple in here, Lana and Seth, are just so cute. It's rivals to lovers. It's also second chance romance, and I love those tropes so much. So maybe it was the tropes that did it for me. I don't really know, but I thought the writing was really good too, and I liked our main character Lana, and this was just such a nice surprise. I actually got this in a blind date with a book. I actually did a video where I read this, so if you want to see my reactions, check that out. But shout out to my friend Brooke who made those blind date with the books for me, because I wouldn't have read this without her. So love you, Brooke. And then the last one that was a pretty big surprise for me was Carly Fortune's newest release, This Summer Will Be Different. I actually read this past month, so I don't want to talk too much about it because you guys will see all my thoughts on it in my June wrap up. But I did not enjoy Every Summer After or Meet Me at the Lake by her, which are her 2 first books that she's come out with. But this one was so good. So cute. I really enjoyed it, to the point where I kind of want to buy the physical copy because her books are just so stunning. Like the covers are so beautiful. And the first 2 books, my problem was with like the plot. It wasn't really with her writing or anything. I actually really enjoy her writing. She has the perfect bingeable writing. Like if you're looking for a book to binge this summer, this one's for you. Favorite new author, it could be a debut book of theirs or new to me. Obviously, Alice Osman, I love her so much. Also my girl Rachel Gillig, this was just so good. I really enjoyed this book, and the way she created the world was just so like, wow is all I can say. But I think my #1 new favorite author of the year is Miss Elsie Silver. This is the Chestnut Spring series. I only have 2 of them here because these are the only 2 that I have read so far, but I just enjoyed these so much. These are cowboy romances, and they're widely talked about on booktube, book talk, bookstagram, everywhere online. And I don't know why it took me so long to get these, but her writing is just so effortless. I can like zip through it. Like these are the perfect like mindless books to read just because the writing is so easy to go through, and the plot in these are so cute. This one's my favorite so far, Heartless. I really love Will and Kate, and you also get dual POV in these. I love the atmosphere. They're so good. If you need to think of a book to read this summer, these are for you. The next question is my newest fictional crush, Mr. Dorian Halliburton. Okay. Guys, I literally love Dorian with like my whole heart, and I haven't even finished the series yet, but I love him so much. And I also love Rowan. Literally the things that I have annotated from Rowan, like I just love him so much. I'm not sure, I know a lot of people are like a Dorian or a Rowan girly, like more or less. I don't know where I stand yet, so that's TBD, to be determined after I read Kingdom of Ash. And then my other 2 favorites are Jacob from Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez, and then Justin from Just for the Summer. I already talked a lot about Justin, but he is the king of acts of service, and I love him so much. And Jacob in this book has a lot of anxiety, and the anxiety representation in this was so good. And I just love the way both of these men treat their women and think about their women, because these are both dual POV. And even though he had anxiety, like he had ways of showing Brianna, the girl in this book, how much he loved her and cared about her, and it was just, it was so good. These are both incredible. Speaking of the books that I just mentioned, the next question is a book that made you cry, and I stay crying when I read, honestly. But this year, to be completely honest, the tears have been a lot more rare than they have in years past, which is kind of interesting. I don't know why it's been that way, but the one book that made me sob my eyes out, just talked about it, Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. Again, the anxiety representation is just so good. I felt myself relating to this book and the main characters in these books like no other, and they just deal with such real struggles. Also Powerful by Lauren Roberts, which is the Powerless novella that came out recently. You know, if you've read Powerless, how this one ends, and it was very heartbreaking. I did shed a tear or two. And also Empire Storms by Sarah J Maas had me shedding a tear or two too for my girl, Miss Fireheart. If you know, you know. I love her so much. Have you guys seen the edits on TikTok from Billie Eilish's new song, The Greatest, where it's like, man, am I the greatest? And then it slides, and then it's like, haven't I given enough? Given enough? Oh my gosh. Literally hits me to my core and makes me so emotional whenever I see those edits. The next question is a book that makes me happy. I feel like a lot of the times this is a hard question for me because even some of my favorite books don't really like make me happy. I guess I can feel happy because like I love the book so much, like that type of thing. But I feel like the number one book that probably made me happy is Heartstopper. This just gives me the giddiest, happiest feeling, and I love these two guys. The most beautiful book you've bought for this year or received. Now, I don't have a ton of special editions, but that is something that I want to build my collection of more over time as I find more of my favorite books. I definitely want to buy a Throne of Glass special edition, but I actually got these two books from my birthday from Luke, and these are the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition of Crescent City 1 and 2. So this is number 1. Whenever I saw these, I had to have them. I would not shut up about them. And then this is number 2, but I don't know. The art on these is just so stunning, and that is why they're displayed on my bookshelf. We also have the Heartstopper books. Literally, these covers are just so stunning. Like the artist is insane. Also, Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. Does this not look like summer in a book? I mean, it's stunning. And if Pinterest had a baby, it would be Picking Daisies on Sundays by Liana Kincaidi. Oh my gosh, this is adorable and so cute and so aesthetic. Also, two that I bought this year but haven't read yet. Are you kidding me? Are you joking? This is absolutely beautiful. And then The Wishing Game literally just looks like the most beautiful magical library ever, and I want to read it so bad. And then what books do you need to read by the end of the year? I'm just gonna refer to my reading journal because honestly, if I went through that entire list, it would be way too long. So I'm just gonna quickly go through these. The Final Offer, Happily Never After, Magnolia Parks, Crooked Kingdom, A Novel Love Story, Little Women, Beartown, Nothing Like the Movies, Reckless, Not in Love, Archer's Voice, Five Survived, Love Redesigned, Out on a Limb, Crescent City, Daydream, and Caraval. So that is my little list. I haven't updated my reading journal in quite some time, so that'll probably be in a little vlog coming up soon. I just really need to get my printer to start working. Okay, those are all the original book tag questions. Now we're gonna get into the questions that I added. The first one is, what books do you want to reread in the second half of this year? Number 1 being Powerless by Lauren Roberts before Reckless comes out on July 2nd next month. So I gotta get to this one really soon, but I love this book so much, and I want to be like primed and ready to go and have like everything I can remember from Powerless in my brain so I can just dive right on into Reckless. And I actually just started rereading ACOTAR with Luke. We're only like 2 chapters and I don't know if we'll like get through it or all of them or anything like that. I mainly just want him to read the original trilogy because those are my personal favorites. And I also really want him to read Throne of Glass, but I don't know if I want to reread that yet because we're like reading it aloud to each other. My friend Jordy actually started doing that with her boyfriend, and they've read up to Empire Storms. I think they're like in the middle of Empire Storms right now, and I just thought that was so cute and fun, so I'm trying to get Luke to do that with me. And be sure to leave comments down below where you're like, Luke, you should read books with Katie more, or you should read Katie's favorite books, because then I can show them to him and hopefully that will convince him to do that. But I already find myself wanting to reread Throne of Glass and I'm not even like done, so we'll see if that ends up happening. I also really want to reread Better Than the Movies before Nothing Like the Movies comes out, kind of like the same thing with Powerless. And I also really want to reread Emily Henry's big 3 for me that are all 5-star. Happy Place, Beach Read, and Funny Story, just because I want to know how I compare all 3 of them, and I just love all 3 of those books so much. My favorite author so far this year, I definitely have to say one of them is Sarah J Maas. Her mind just works in such a crazy way for her to be able to connect things from so many different books over such a long time span and create these characters with such depth that makes me so connected to them. I just absolutely love her writing. And then also my girl Abby Jimenez, but you probably already knew that. The next question is books you've been putting off that you want to get to in the second half of the year. My 3 I briefly mentioned before because they were in my reading journal on my 24 for 2024 list. But The Final Offer, I don't know what it is. I'm just not really that into the Dreamland Billionaire series, which makes me so sad. I feel like as I've kept on reading, and I've talked about this before, but I am such a tension over spice girly, and those books are just so long for romance books, and I already read a lot of like long fantasy books, so I feel like a lot of the times whenever I go to a romance book, I just want like a fun, good palate cleanser. Like Like, it can be real and realistic and have like real life issues, but if it's just like too smutty for me, I haven't been enjoying that as much lately. But I really want to read that because I really want to get to love redesign in her new series that she's coming out with. Archer's Voice, I'm just so scared to read because it's so hyped up. And then Magnolia Parks, there's so many mixed reviews. I don't know, I'm just so nervous to read that one. Speaking of mixed reviews, the next question is a book you enjoyed with mixed reviews, and the first one is Check-in Mate by Ali Hazelwood. This is her YA debut that she came out with last year, but I read it this year. The cover, stunning. Oh my gosh, the back is literally so beautiful. But I really enjoyed this one. I think this is probably my favorite Ali Hazelwood that she's come out with to date, or at least like it's up there. I don't know, I really do love Love Hypothesis. But I rated this a 4.5. I really loved how realistic and real this was and how it really focused on our main character Mallory. I think a lot of people got cringed out with this book for some reason, but I don't know, I didn't get that feeling at all. I think sometimes YA can be cringy for a lot of people, which I totally understand, but I didn't feel that way at all. I love this book. I ate it up. I thought it was so cute and fun. And the romance is fade to black, so it is YA. So if you don't like spice or anything, this could be for you. But I don't know, I just related to our main character Mallory so much, and I really enjoyed this book and her story. And then the next book we have is Funny Story by Emily Henry. I've been seeing a lot of mixed reviews on this one right here, mainly because our main character Miles, a lot of people don't see him as a male main character that they could really fall in love with or like root for or anything like that. But I don't know, I love this book. I thought the realistic way that she talked about breakups was so interesting, and I just thought this was so real. Like, that's the best way I can describe her books, and I just love her writing so much. And I also just love Daphne. I just connected to her so much, and I can get maybe like with those two books, like if you don't connect to the characters, I can totally get not being as into it, but I love them. There will be no slander about them, okay? Next, we have a series you want to finish in the second half of the year, and that would be The Natural series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I read the first one in October of last year, actually. I really enjoyed this one. I think I read it in like 2 days. Like, I read it really quick. I'm trying to get into my mystery thriller era. Thriller? Okay. Obviously, I want to finish Throne of Glass. And then I also want to start and finish all 3 books that are in Crescent City. I don't have the 3rd one yet, but I really want to finish the SJM universe before her next book comes out. And then also Miss Abby Jimenez's Backlist. I have 3 other books, I believe, by her that I need to read, which I know is not a series, but they are interconnected standalone, so I'm counting that as a series. Okay, coming up on our last few questions, we have a 5-star prediction for the rest of the year. Number 1 is Reckless. I mean, it's just gotta be. I'm so excited for the way that I'm gonna feel after that book, or just like during that book. Like, I just know I'm gonna love it. Also, Kingdom of Ash, like without a doubt, that's gonna be a 5-star, 1000%. I also think The 7-Year Slip and A Novel Love Story could potentially be a 5-star as well. Ashley Poston's writing reminds me so much of Emily Henry's writing, and I love them both so much. And obviously Emily Henry, I have a few 5 stars by her, so I have a feeling that I'm really gonna enjoy both of those. And then also the Chestnut Springs series, like as a series as a whole, if you know what I'm saying. But I also think that one of the books from the series could potentially be a 5-star. I just love this family so much, and the atmosphere of like being on the ranch and the cowboyness of it all is incredible. And I know we talked about my reading goal at the very beginning, but the next question is, do you think you will be able to reach your reading goal? And I do think I am going to be able to in one way or another. I think 100 books is a good happy medium for me. I could have done more than that, but I think that would have been way too unrealistic. And I also think it is enough to be challenging to the point where I do have to keep up with reading and stuff like that, which I have been doing a good job so far. So I just hope that I keep on a good reading grind as we're going along throughout the year. And then the last question is, do you have any other goals for the rest of the reading year? I think the biggest one for me, and the 2 of them that I have kind of relate to this overall, but I want to start reading and branching out to more genres. Specifically, I want to read more literary fiction. I have a few literary fiction right here and somewhere else on my shelf too that I've just heard amazing things about, and I just haven't gotten to. I think just because I'm scared to read them because I don't know if I'm gonna enjoy them. But the ones that I have read of the literary fiction genre, I've just enjoyed so much. And I also really want to read 2 classics, specifically The Great Gatsby because I have it on my shelf already, and then also Little Women because it's on my 24 for 2024. I just want to give it a chance. Obviously they're classics, so they're very well loved, but I just want to know what all the hype's about. Maybe I'll do a video on that, reading classics for a week or something. Okay, that is the very last question. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys got a book rec or 2. Again, all the questions will be down below in the description if you want to answer them in the comments, or if you want to answer it in your own video, post, or whatever. Don't forget to tag me in those as well so I can see all of your answers. Also, if you guys have any thoughts on these books, any videos you want me to do, any books you want me to read, leave those in the comments down below. We can chat more about them down there. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe if you did enjoy this video, and go ahead and comment down below a flower emoji in honor of my cute little pocket on my sweatshirt, so I know who the real ones are who watch until the very end of the video. If you want to keep up with me on the daily, don't forget to follow my TikTok, my Instagram, and my Goodreads especially, like I said at the beginning, to keep up with what I'm reading in real time. And I think that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. I love you so, so much, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys. Lip product check. Woo.